Two best friends, Zola and Imani, walked into a Mafia casino to beg for debt forgiveness. Instead, they walked out as wives. Plural. Both of them. To Kangdae, a 6'4" Korean Mafia emperor with dragon tattoos on his neck and a proposition that changed everything. Okay, besties, if you're just joining us, where have you been? Let me catch you up real quick, because part 1 was insane. The deal? Marry him. Both of them. Give him 2 heirs in 1 year. In exchange, all debts erased, unlimited wealth, ultimate protection, and each other, because they'd never face his dangerous world alone. They signed the contract. They moved into his fortress mansion with an emperor-sized bed. Yes, that's a real thing. They had the wedding night that left all 3 of them changed forever. Fire and water. Red and white. 2 queens for 1 emperor. But then his mother showed up calling them names, and just as things got heated, Imani fainted. Poison? Stress? Or something else entirely? We left you on a cliffhanger, and you've been waiting for answers. Well, bestie, buckle up because part 2 is about to get wild. If you haven't watched part 1, the link is in the description. Go watch it now because this story builds and you need the full experience. And before we start, hit that subscribe button because this series is just getting started and you do not want to miss what's coming.
Trust me.
Let's go. Dr. Han arrived within 20 minutes, her medical bag probably worth more than most people's cars. She'd clearly dealt with Kangdae's world before. She didn't even blink at finding 2 wives and 1 very dangerous husband in the same bedroom. Imani sat on the edge of the massive bed, still pale, with Zola holding her hand on one side and Kangdae on the other. The size difference was staggering. His hand completely engulfed Imani's delicate fingers. When did the nausea start? Dr. Han asked, pulling out her stethoscope. Just now, Imani said softly. After his mother left. I felt fine before that, just stressed. Dr. Han checked Imani's vitals, blood pressure, heart rate. Then she pulled out what looked like a small ultrasound device. This is going to sound impossible, the doctor said, but given the timing of your union, we should check. Kangdae leaned forward, every muscle tense. Check for what? Pregnancy.
Pause.
Besties, did she just say pregnancy? From 1 night? I know what you're thinking. That's not how biology works. But wait for it. Dr. Han looked at Kangdae with knowing eyes. I've been a Kang family physician for 30 years. Your bloodline has certain accelerated characteristics. What does that mean? Zola demanded, her protective instincts flaring.
Doktor, han glänst att Kangda.
You didn't tell them? His jaw tightened. I didn't think it would matter this quickly. Tell us what? Both women said simultaneously. Kangdae ran a hand through his perfectly styled hair, messing it up for the first time. The Kang bloodline. We're not entirely normal. Conception happens faster. Pregnancy progresses quicker. It's genetic, probably from centuries of selective breeding. My mother was pregnant with me for 7 months, not 9. This man just casually dropped that his family has super sperm like it's a normal Tuesday conversation. Besties, I am unwell. So 1 night could have, Zola started. Let me check, Dr. Han interrupted, applying gel to the ultrasound wand. Lie back, Imani. The room fell silent. Imani lay back against the silk pillows, her hand gripping Zola's, so tight it had to hurt. Kangdae stood at her other side, his face unreadable, but his hand gentle on her shoulder. Dr. Han moved the wand across Imani's lower abdomen, eyes fixed on her monitor. Then she stopped, smiled. Congratulations. You're pregnant. Bestie, I need you to understand. It's been less than 48 hours since the wedding night, and this woman is pregnant. The Kang genetics are no joke. Imani started crying. Just tears streaming down her face, her hand going to her stomach. Kangdae dropped to his knees beside the bed, this powerful, terrifying Mafia emperor on his knees, and his expression cracked.
Pure emotion.
Shock, pride, possessiveness, and something that looked like fear. "You're carrying my child," he said, his voice rough. "Our child," Imani corrected softly through tears.
Ours.
He kissed her then, tender and claiming all at once, his large hand covering hers on her still flat stomach. It should have been a perfect moment, except Zola sat there feeling her world tilt. Imani was pregnant, from one night, and Zola wasn't. The fear crept in. What if she couldn't get pregnant? What if she became the spare wife? Dr. Hans seemed to read her mind. "Don't panic. Everyone's different. You might already be pregnant too, just not far enough along. Or it could take a few more cycles." But Kangdae saw something in Zola's face because he released Imani and turned to her, his hands framing her face. "Don't," he commanded. "Don't go to that dark place. She's pregnant, and I'm not.
Yet.
And even if it takes time, even if it never happens, you are my wife. My queen, equal to her in every way that matters." His thumbs stroked her cheeks. "I chose you for you, not as a breeding vessel. Don't reduce yourself to that." The way this man just shut down her insecurity, the way he made it clear she has value beyond pregnancy. We stan a man who understands a woman's worth. Comment below if you're emotional, because I am. Imani reached across the bed for Zola's hand. "We're in this together, remember? Your baby or my baby, there are babies. All of them." And just like that, the jealousy dissolved. This is what I've been telling you. The sisterhood is everything in this story. Dr. Han examined Zola next and delivered news. "You're approaching ovulation. Within 48 hours. If you want to maximize chances, that's your window." Kangdae's eyes darkened with purpose. "Then we use the window." Heat flooded through the room. This man just scheduled baby making like a business meeting, and honestly, the efficiency is impressive. After Dr. Han left with instructions for Imani's care and weekly check-ins, the three of them sat in stunned silence. "We're having a baby," Imani whispered. "We're having a baby," Kangdae confirmed, then looked at Zola with dark promise. "And soon another." That night, after Imani fell asleep early, pregnancy exhaustion is real, Kangdae turned his full attention to Zola. "Dr. Hans said we have a window," he murmured, his hands already on her waist. "I don't waste opportunities." What happened next was strategic, focused, and absolutely intense. He was determined to give Zola every advantage for conception, and the man approached it with the same intensity he brought to everything else. Bestie, the way he made sure she felt worshipped, not just used. The way he kept checking in, making sure she was okay, making sure she felt as important as Imani, even though Imani was already pregnant. This is what equal treatment looks like. But I'm keeping this YouTube safe, so use your imagination for the specifics. Let's just say the Emperor bed got thoroughly used that night, and Zola understood exactly why they needed 12 feet of mattress. By morning, all three of them were tangled together again. Imani in the middle this time, both Kangdae and Zola's hands resting protectively on her stomach where their baby was growing. "Think it worked?" Zola asked sleepily. "We'll know in a few days," Kangdae murmured. "But either way, we keep trying." That sounded like a promise, and definitely a guarantee of more nights that would test the structural integrity of that custom bed. If you're loving this story, hit that like button. And stay tuned because the board meeting is next, and it's about to get tense. 3 days later, Kangdae made an announcement. "The board meeting is today. You're both coming." The boardroom was designed to intimidate. Massive table, floor-to-ceiling windows, expensive art, and 12 old Korean men in suits who looked at Zola and Imani like they were insects that needed exterminating. Zola wore a blood-red power suit that hugged every curve, her natural hair styled big and bold, red lipstick like war paint. She looked like money and danger. Imani wore an elegant cream dress, softer but no less stunning, her coiled hair in an updo, looking like grace personified. Together, they flanked Kangdae like the queens they were. "Gentlemen," Kangdae said, his voice carrying absolute authority. "My wives." The reaction was immediate.
Shock.
Disgust. One man actually stood up, his face turning purple. "Wives? Plural?" Director Kim spat. "This is an insult. Sit down." The command in Kangdae's voice made the man drop back into his chair, like a puppet with cut strings. The power dynamic in that room was electric, besties. "Let me be clear," Kangdae continued. "You gave me an ultimatum. Produce heirs within a year or face a coup. I've done better than that." He slid an envelope across the table. "Medical documents." Director Park opened it and went pale. "This says she's pregnant. But the marriage was less than a week ago." Kong genetics work faster. He said it so casually, like having superfertility is normal. "My wife Imani is carrying my child. Confirmed by Dr. Han." The way he said, "my wife Imani," with such possessive pride made her blush from across the room. One wife could have accomplished this, another director argued. Why two? Because one woman cannot survive my world alone. Kangdae's voice was ice. "I've seen it destroy queens before. Two women who already trust each other can handle what one cannot." "They're foreigners," Director Kim spat. "Not even Korean." The temperature in the room dropped. Kangdae didn't move, but somehow his presence expanded, became threatening. "Finish that sentence, and I'll finish your career. And possibly your life." Silence. You could hear a pin drop. This man just threatened a board member's life and nobody questioned it. "My wives are American, Black American, and they are more loyal, more intelligent, and more valuable than any social climbing heiress you've thrown at me." He leaned forward. "They walked into this knowing who I am. That courage is what builds empires." One director tried again. "What if one betrays you?" "Two wives means twice the risk." "They won't betray me because they won't betray each other. That bond is stronger than fear." Under the table, Zola squeezed Imani's hand. He was fighting for them publicly, claiming them in front of men who wanted them gone. "I propose we accept this arrangement," Director Park said carefully, "on condition that both wives produce male heirs."
No.
Kangdae's voice was flat. "Gender is irrelevant. I've already changed the bylaws. My daughters will have the same rights as my sons. Vote against it, and I'll remove you from this board." The legal maneuvering was brutal, and I am here for it. He really said, "I already changed the rules, deal with it," and they had to just accept it. Meeting adjourned, Kangdae said, standing. "My wives and I have better things to do than listen to old men complain about progress." They walked out together, leaving 12 shocked board members behind. The moment the elevator doors closed, Imani let out a breath. "That was terrifying." "That was necessary," Kangdae corrected, pulling them both close. "They needed to see that you're not going anywhere." "I wanted to punch Director Kim," Zola admitted. "So did I. But violence in board meetings is frowned upon." His lips twitched. "Outside of board meetings, however?" "Bestie, the way he just casually implied he might murder people who disrespect his wives? Red flag or green flag? Comment below, because I genuinely don't know anymore." That night, they celebrated. Imani's pregnancy was official and public. The board couldn't touch them. And Kangdae was determined to get Zola pregnant too. "We're still in your window," he murmured, his hands already working the zipper of her red dress. "And I'm not wasting a single hour." What followed was another night of strategic passion. But this time, Imani wasn't sleeping through it. "I want to help," she said softly from where she lay on the massive bed, watching them. "Help how?" Zola asked, breathless as Kangdae's mouth traced down her neck. "However you need. We're in this together, right?" And besties, what happened next was the three of them finding a new rhythm. Imani couldn't participate fully due to early pregnancy sensitivity, but she was there, holding Zola's hand, whispering encouragement, being part of the moment even if she wasn't the focus. The intimacy of it, the unity. Three people completely committed to each other's pleasure and success. I'm keeping this YouTube safe, but the emotion? The connection? The way they made sure nobody felt left out even when the focus was on conception? That's the content we're here for. By morning, they were thoroughly exhausted and completely satisfied. Think it worked this time? Imani asked. We'll know in 2 weeks, Zola said. But either way, the trying is pretty amazing. Kangdae smiled, possessive and satisfied. We'll keep trying until it does. I'm nothing if not persistent. If you're still watching, comment Empire below and subscribe because this story is far from over. The public announcement is coming next, and it's going to be explosive. 2 weeks later, Kangdae made an announcement that changed everything. There's a charity gala. We're attending. All three of us. It's time to go public. Imani was now 5 weeks pregnant, which in Kong genetics meant she was showing more like 7 or 8 weeks in a normal pregnancy. A small bump was starting to form. Meanwhile, Zola was in the agonizing 2-week wait to find out if she was pregnant. The styling teams arrived. 3 teams, 1 for each of them. Zola's team put her in a red gown that was pure fire. Form-fitting, high-slit, showing curves, neckline daring but classy. Gold jewelry that probably cost more than a house. Imani's team dressed her in flowing white that accommodated her tiny bump while making her look ethereal. Empire waist, elegant, romantic. Kangdae wore a custom black tuxedo with his neck tattoos on full display. No hiding who he was. When they came together, the effect was stunning. You look like queens, Kangdae said, voice rough. We are queens, Zola corrected. The car ride was tense. They knew what was coming, cameras, judgment, the entire Seoul elite seeing them for the first time. The car stopped. Security opened the door. Kangdae stepped out first, then offered both hands. Zola took his right. Imani took his left. They emerged together. Camera flashes were blinding. Mr. Kang, who are your companions? Is this a new relationship? Kangdae ignored it all, walking forward with both women on his arms. Inside the ballroom, conversation stopped. People stared. 2 black women with the notoriously private Korean Mafia emperor? This was major news. Let them stare, Kangdae murmured. We'll make the announcement shortly. They worked the room. Some people were polite. Some were openly hostile. Every time someone showed disrespect, Kangdae shut it down with ice-cold authority. These are your dates? One businessman asked with barely hidden disdain. My wives. Plural. Legal. Binding. Show respect or remove yourself from my presence. The man practically ran away. Then they encountered the board members' wives. These women were a different breed, polished, cold, looking at Zola and Imani like competition to be eliminated. How exotic, one said, her smile fake. Where did you meet? Business arrangement, Zola said smoothly. We provide what he needs. He provides what we need. And you're both okay with sharing? We're sisters, Imani said firmly. Why wouldn't we want to share our lives? The woman had no response to that. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. The speeches began and Kangdae took the stage. But instead of his prepared speech, he gestured for Zola and Imani to join him. They walked up, stood on either side of him, visible to everyone. Before I discuss tonight's cause, Kangdae said, his voice carrying authority, I have a personal announcement. The room went silent. These are my wives, Zola and Imani. Legally married, fully committed, both of them. The room erupted in whispers. Bestie, the drama. You could feel the shock waves. I know this is unconventional. I know some of you disapprove. I don't care. His voice was cold. They are the mothers of my children. One is already carrying my heir. They are queens of the Kong Empire, and they will be treated with respect. He looked out at the crowd with dangerous eyes. Anyone who disrespects them disrespects me. Anyone who threatens them makes an enemy of me. Then he smiled, charming and deadly. Now, about tonight's charity. He launched into his speech, but nobody was listening. They were processing the bombshell he just dropped. After the speech, they descended together. People made way for them. Some even bowed. They made it through another hour of shocked conversations and constant photographs. Then Imani went pale. I need to sit down, she whispered. Immediately, Kangdae and Zola were alert. He guided her to a private room, security blocking everyone else. What's wrong?
Kangdae demanded. Dizzy.
Overwhelmed. Too much. We're leaving.
Now.
Within 5 minutes, they were being escorted out, cameras flashing, Imani leaning on Kangdae with Zola supporting her other side.
Doktor, han sjekket her later.
Just stress. The pregnancy is fine, but no more high-stress events. That night, lying in their massive bed, Zola's phone exploded with notifications. Korean Mafia emperor announces plural marriage. Kangdae claims 2 Black American wives in shocking revelation. Pregnant wife revealed at charity gala. The world knew now. There was no going back. And, honestly, looking at this unconventional family they were building, Zola didn't want to go back. If you're invested in this story, please hit subscribe. The next chapter has a major threat, and you don't want to miss it. Also comment if you think Zola is pregnant too, because the reveal is coming. The blowback from the gala was immediate. News worldwide picked up the story. Social media exploded. Some supportive, most judgmental, many racist and awful. But the real danger came from the Mafia world. 3 days later, Kangdae received a message. Your new wives are liabilities. Eliminate them or we will. It was from the Park organization, a rival family looking for weakness. Kangdae's response was brutal. He tripled security, put tracking devices on both women, assigned bodyguards who followed them everywhere. This is insane, Zola said, looking at the massive guard who now followed her to the bathroom. I can't live like this. You can and you will, Kangdae said, no room for argument. The Parks are serious. They see you as my weakness. Are we? Imani asked quietly, her hand on her growing bump. Your weakness? He pulled them close, fierce. You're my greatest strength, but they can use you to hurt me, which is why I need to make an example.
How?
Zola asked. His smile was terrifying. I'm going to remind everyone why threatening the Kong family is a death sentence. What followed was a week of Kangdae systematically destroying the Park organization. Not with violence, with business. Contracts canceled. Alliances broken. Assets seized. It was brutal efficiency and, honestly, kind of hot watching him protect his family with such ruthless precision. But the Parks didn't go quietly. One evening, as Zola and Imani returned from a session with Kangdae's mother, who was teaching them to fight with knives now, their car was intercepted. A black SUV cut them off. Men in suits emerged. Their head bodyguard immediately positioned himself between the threat and the women, hand on his weapon. But the man who stepped forward held up his hands. No violence, just a message. Say it and leave, the bodyguard growled. The man looked directly at them. Mr. Park wants you to know, you're not safe. Your husband's money can't protect you everywhere. Your pregnancy, he looked at Imani's visible bump, makes you even more vulnerable. Leave Kangdae, leave Korea, and you'll be compensated. Stay, and we can't guarantee your safety. Zola stepped forward, fearless. Tell Mr. Park he can take his offer and shove it. We're not interested, Imani interrupted, surprisingly firm. Tell your boss that threatening pregnant women makes him a coward. The man smiled, unpleasant. He's counting on your husband's response. They drove away, leaving both women shaking. By the time they got home, Kongdae already knew, and his face was murderous. Are you hurt? His hands ran over both of them, checking for injuries. We're fine. Just scared. They threatened you. They threatened my pregnant wife. His voice was ice. That's war. He made one phone call. Rapid Korean, too fast to follow, but the tone was final. When he hung up, the Parks will be dismantled by morning. Not killed, I'm not a monster, but their organization will cease to exist. That night, neither woman could sleep. The reality was sinking in. This was a dangerous world where death threats were casual, where their husband could destroy entire organizations in retribution. Around 2 a.m., Zola felt it. A cramp. Sharp and low. No, she whispered. Imani woke immediately. What's wrong? I just got my period. The devastation on Zola's face was heartbreaking, besties. Second cycle. Perfect timing according to Dr. Han. And yet, not pregnant. Kongdae woke to find both women crying. I'm not pregnant, Zola said. Again. He pulled her into his lap, holding her tight. It's only been 2 cycles. Dr. Han said it could take time. But Imani got pregnant immediately. Imani's body is different. That doesn't make yours broken. He cupped her face. We'll keep trying. And if it never happens, you're still my wife. Still my queen. Still equal. But the contract. Forget the contract. Imani's carrying an heir. That's enough. His eyes were intense. I didn't marry you to breed you. I married you because I wanted you. Imani squeezed Zola's hand. This baby, she touched her bump, is OURS. Whether you carry the second one, or I do, or we adopt, they're all ours. The way they loved her through her disappointment, the way they refused to let her feel less than, this is what partnership looks like. By morning, news broke. Park organization collapsed. Bankrupt. Disbanded. Absorbed into Kong Empire. The message was clear. Threaten the Kong family, cease to exist. But with the business news came something else. An envelope delivered by courier. Inside, a photograph. Zola and Imani leaving training yesterday. Professional quality. Close up. On the back. We know where they are. Always. It wasn't signed. The Parks were gone, but there were other enemies. Kongdae looked at the photo, then smiled. Cold. Dangerous. Good, he said quietly. Let them try. He pulled his wives close, arms around both. Let them all try. They'll learn what happens when you threaten what's mine. 2 days after the threat, after Zola's period ended, something shifted. Maybe it was the danger. Maybe it was the vulnerability. Maybe it was just time. But that night, the 3 of them came together with an intensity that eclipsed even their wedding night. Kongdae had spent the day handling threats, making calls, being the emperor. But when he walked into their bedroom and saw both his wives waiting, Zola in red silk, Imani in white despite her growing bump, something in him snapped. Not in an angry way. In a desperate, possessive, need-to-claim way. I almost lost you today, he said, voice rough. That photograph. Knowing they were that close. But you didn't lose us, Zola interrupted, walking to him. We're here. We're safe. We're yours. Say it again, he commanded. We're yours, both women said together. What happened next was primal. He needed to reassert his claim, needed to feel them, needed to know they were his and safe and here. Bestie, the intensity. The way he touched them both like he was memorizing every inch. The way he made sure they understood they belonged to him, and he belonged to them. Imani, despite being pregnant, wanted to be part of it. "I need this too," she whispered. "I need to feel connected. I need to feel US." And they found a way. Gentle with her, fierce with Zola, but all connected. The massive Emperor bed had never been more necessary because they used every INCH. The way Kangdae balanced them, giving Imani the tenderness her pregnant body needed while giving Zola the intensity SHE needed, it was a masterclass in how to love two women simultaneously. "You're both mine," he kept saying, like a prayer or a threat or a promise. "Both of you. Mine to protect. Mine to pleasure. Mine to keep." "And you're ours," Zola gasped back. "Our husband. Our protector. Our emperor." The words seemed to undo him. He made sure both women reached completion multiple times, because apparently having two wives means his stamina is superhuman. Imani, glowing and exhausted, eventually curled up to watch, her hand on her bump, soft smile on her face as she witnessed Kangdae and Zola continue. And Zola, fierce, passionate Zola, matched him fire for fire until they both collapsed, spent and satisfied. They fell asleep tangled together, Kangdae in the middle, Imani on his left with his hand on her bump, Zola on his right with her leg thrown over his, all three completely connected. This is what family looks like in their world. Unconventional, intense, but theirs. 2 weeks later, Dr. Han came for Imani's regular checkup. But this time, she brought her equipment for Zola too. "Let's see if all that effort paid off," she said with a knowing smile. Zola lay back on the bed, Imani holding her hand, Kangdae standing at her other side. Dr. Han applied the gel, moved the wand, watched her scream. Then she smiled. "Congratulations. You're pregnant too." The room exploded in emotion. Zola started crying. Imani started crying. Kangdae pulled them both into his arms, and for the first time since they'd met him, he had tears in his eyes. "Both of you," he said, voice breaking. "Both my queens are carrying my children. Our children," they corrected together. He kissed them both, fierce and tender. "Our children. Our family. Our empire."
Der. Han smiled.
Based on the Kong genetics and the timing, you're both due around the same time. You'll be having your babies within weeks of each other. 2 pregnant wives. 2 babies. 1 emperor who looked like he'd just conquered the world. "We did it," Imani whispered. "We're doing it," Zola corrected. "This is just the beginning." And she was right, because outside, enemies were still plotting. His mother had her own agenda. The board wasn't finished scheming. And there were still 9 months of pregnancy, preparation, and danger ahead. But in that moment, in that massive bedroom with a Seoul skyline behind them, 3 people who'd started as strangers were now a family. The emperor and his 2 queens. Both pregnant, both fierce, both ready for whatever came next. Okay, besties, let's talk. First of all, if you made it to the end of part 2, you're committed, and I love that for you. Did you scream when they both got pregnant? Because I screamed. Comment double airs if you're as emotional as I am right now. Here's what's coming in part 3, and trust me, you need to subscribe because it gets insane. The pregnancy's progress, remember, Kong genetics mean fast development. His mother's true agenda is revealed, and it's shocking. A rival family makes a move that puts both pregnant wives in danger. The babies arrive, and the gender reveal is going to blow your mind. And a twist ending that will leave you desperate for part 4. I'm talking assassination attempts, family betrayal, emergency C-sections, and a power move that changes the entire Mafia landscape. So here's what I need you to do. 1. Smash that subscribe button. Part 3 drops tomorrow, and you don't want to miss it. 2. Hit the like button if you're loving this series. It tells me to keep going. 3. Comment below. Team Zola or Team Imani? Trick question, we love both. Do you think his mother can be trusted? What do you think the baby's genders will be? Would you sign this contract? Be honest. 4. Share this video with your friends who love dark romance. They'll thank you. Also, part 1 is linked in the description if anyone needs to catch up. And if you want more Korean mafia romance, check out my playlist of similar stories. Final question. Would you rather be Zola, the fire, the fighter, the one who challenges him, or Imani, the water, the gentle one, the one who softens him? Comment fire or water. I'll see you in part 3 where things get dangerous and the babies are coming whether we're ready or not. Until then, stay blessed, stay obsessed, and remember, you deserve a man who would dismantle entire organizations to protect you. Don't settle for less. Subscribe now. Part 3 coming soon.